When your frequency begins to rise, one of the very first signs you experience is an increased awareness of energy itself. Suddenly, you start noticing that life is not just about physical objects, routines, or material concerns, but about vibrations, feelings, and unseen flows of energy that affect every part of existence. You may sense this through moments of intuition, sudden waves of inspiration, or by simply recognizing that certain environments feel heavy, while others feel light. This awakening can be subtle at first, like realizing how much calmer you feel after spending time in nature, or how drained you become after scrolling through negative news. Over time, this awareness sharpens, and you begin to see patterns everywhere: how thoughts influence moods, how words carry weight, and how your own energy field responds to the company you keep. This is not imagination. It is your consciousness expanding to perceive what was always there, but hidden from your awareness. When your frequency rises, you are no longer trapped only in the physical layer of reality. You begin to sense the energetic blueprint behind it. That sensitivity is the universe whispering to you, you are awakening. And once you awaken, you can never return to sleep. This awareness becomes your compass, guiding you toward alignment with higher frequencies and helping you avoid energies that would pull you back into density. Another unmistakable sign that your frequency is rising is the feeling of emotional lightness that comes after release. Instead of carrying old wounds, grudges, or bitterness, you notice yourself forgiving more easily, letting go of what once held power over you. This is not because you have suddenly forgotten the pain, but because your vibration has risen to a level where those heavy energies can no longer attach to you. Think of it like shedding old skin. You no longer need the layers of anger, resentment, or fear to protect you. They simply fall away. With this release comes peace, a softness in your chest, a freedom to breathe more deeply. Situations that would have triggered you in the past no longer have the same effect. Where once you might have reacted with anger, now you respond with compassion or simply walk away without being disturbed. This emotional release is one of the clearest indicators of rising vibration. It shows that you are no longer operating at the frequency of survival or fear, but stepping into the frequency of love, harmony, and peace. As your vibration rises, even your nervous system begins to reprogram itself. Your body no longer remains locked in flight or flight mode, but instead relaxes into flow. And in this flow, you discover the true joy of being alive. When your frequency rises, intuition stops being a faint whisper and becomes a clear inner voice. You notice how often your gut feelings turn out to be correct. You begin making decisions not based solely on logic or fear, but on a deeper sense of knowing that seems to come from beyond your mind. At the same time, synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences, start appearing everywhere. You think of a friend, and they suddenly text you. You are wondering about a question, and the answer shows up in a book, video, or random conversation. These synchronicities are not accidents. They are signs that your personal frequency is syncing with the universal flow. The more you align, the more the universe seems to wink at you, reminding you that you are on the right path. This heightened intuition is like tuning a radio dial. The higher your frequency, the clearer the signal becomes. And unlike before, when you doubted yourself or dismissed your instincts, now you trust them, because experience has shown you they are accurate. Living with heightened intuition makes life magical. You stop chasing, and instead, you allow life to unfold with grace. Each synchronicity becomes a signpost confirming that you are aligned with your highest timeline. A rising frequency does not only transform your mind and emotions, it also affects your body. As your vibration increases, your physical system begins to recalibrate itself. You may notice shifts in appetite. Certain heavy, processed foods no longer appeal to you, while fresh, live-in foods like fruits, vegetables, and clean water suddenly taste better than ever. Your body becomes more sensitive, and you start craving what truly nourishes you rather than what numbs you. Along with this, your energy levels begin to change. Instead of feeling constantly tired, you notice bursts of vitality, especially when you are engaged in activities aligned with your higher self. On the flip side, you may also feel exhausted when surrounded by low-frequency environments, such as toxic relationships or chaotic settings. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is refinement. Your body is becoming a more precise instrument for carrying higher light. Even your sleep may shift. You might wake up at odd hours, experience vivid dreams, or feel surges of energy during meditation. These are signs that your physical system is adapting to a new vibrational state. It is like upgrading your internal software to handle higher frequencies of consciousness. The more you honor your body through rest, movement, and conscious eating, the more it becomes a vessel of radiant vitality. Perhaps the most powerful sign that your frequency is rising is the burning desire for purpose and service. You begin to feel that life is not just about personal gain, material possessions, or survival, but about contributing something meaningful to the world. This does not mean you must start a grand movement or change the entire planet overnight. It may begin as small acts of kindness, sharing your story, or creating something that inspires others. As your vibration rises, selfish goals feel empty, while aligned actions that uplift others bring deep fulfillment. You feel called to express your unique gifts, whether through art, teaching, healing, or simply embodying love in your daily interactions. This desire is not forced. It flows naturally because higher frequencies are aligned with unity, compassion, and contribution. You realize that helping others rise does not drain you. It expands you. In fact, your frequency multiplies when you share it. The universe begins to place you in situations where your light is needed most, and you notice how people are drawn to your energy without you even trying. This calling toward purpose is the universe's way of saying, you are ready to step into your true power. And once you follow it, your life transforms into a journey of alignment, service, and joy. One of the strongest indicators that your frequency is rising shows up in your relationships. Suddenly, the people, conversations, and connections that once felt normal may begin to feel heavy, draining, or even toxic. It's not because you have become better than them, but because your energy no longer resonates at the same level. You may find yourself craving authenticity, depth, and truth, while superficial gossip or negativity feels unbearable. Some friendships naturally fall away, not in anger, but because the vibrational gap becomes too wide to sustain. At first, this can feel painful, like losing a part of yourself. But in reality, the universe is clearing space for new connections that match your frequency. As your vibration rises, you begin to attract people who are aligned with love, growth, and higher consciousness. These new relationships feel different. Conversations flow effortlessly. You feel seen and understood, and you walk away feeling uplifted instead of drained. This shift in relationships is both a test and a blessing. The test is learning to let go without resentment, trusting that the right people will stay. The blessing is that you start building a soul family, a network of people who vibrate at the same frequency and who help you rise even higher. When your circle changes, your life changes because energy flows most powerfully through the connections you keep. When your frequency rises, creativity begins to overflow from you in ways you may not have experienced before. Suddenly, ideas for projects, art, writing, business, or even solutions to challenges seem to come effortlessly. This is because higher vibrations put you into a state of alignment where you are more connected to the infinite creative intelligence of the universe. Instead of forcing inspiration, you find yourself in the zone, where time disappears and energy flows through you like a river. This is not limited to artistic expression. Creativity shows up in how you solve problems, how you connect with others, and how you design your life. Even the way you speak begins to carry more flow and inspiration, often surprising you with words you didn't consciously plan. This is what it feels like to co-create with the universe, to allow higher frequencies to guide your actions. Many people notice that as their vibration rises, they return to passions they once abandoned. Painting, dancing, music, storytelling, or discover entirely new gifts they didn't know they had. Creativity is the natural language of high vibration, because creation itself is an act of love. The more you express it, the more alive you feel. And when you share that creative flow with the world, it becomes magnetic, touching hearts and drawing people toward your frequency. Another powerful sign of rising frequency is an overwhelming sense of gratitude and presence in your daily life. You begin to notice beauty in the smallest things. The way sunlight hits the leaves, the sound of laughter, the taste of water, the rhythm of your own breath. Gratitude becomes less of a practice you have to force and more of a natural state of being. Instead of constantly chasing the next goal, you begin to savor the present moment, realizing that fulfillment is not in the future but in the now. This heightened gratitude shifts your frequency even higher, because appreciation is one of the purest vibrations of love. Science even shows that gratitude rewires the brain to perceive more joy and possibility. In this state, stress loses its grip, and you begin to feel peace even in situations that would have overwhelmed you in the past. Presence deepens your connection to life. You stop living in memories of the past or worries of the future, and instead experience the richness of each moment as it unfolds. And here's the miracle: the more grateful and present you become, the more the universe gives you reasons to feel grateful. Gratitude acts like a magnet, pulling in more experiences, people, and opportunities that match your elevated vibration. As your frequency rises, you develop a deeper, almost spiritual connection with nature. The trees no longer look like just wooden leaves. They feel alive, breathing, and pulsing with energy. The sound of birds, the crash of waves, or the stillness of mountains begins to heal you in ways you cannot explain. You may find yourself craving more time outdoors, seeking silence, sunlight, fresh air, and grounding energy from the earth. This is because nature operates at a high, stable frequency, untouched by human chaos. When your vibration rises, you resonate more with natural environments than artificial ones. Even scientific studies confirm that spending time in nature lowers stress, balances emotions, and restores energy. But beyond science, there is a mystical element. You begin to sense that nature itself communicates with you. A breeze may feel like a message. A river may reflect your inner flow. A sunrise may feel like a personal blessing. In these moments, you realize that nature is not separate from you. You are part of its living system. This connection is not about escaping life, but about remembering your place in the greater web of existence. Every step on the earth becomes sacred, every moment outdoors a meditation. And in nature you find both peace and power, because it mirrors the frequency you are rising into. Perhaps one of the most profound signs of a rising frequency is the ability to remain at peace, even when life seems chaotic on the outside. This does not mean you become numb or detached, but that you begin to carry a deep inner stillness that cannot easily be shaken. Where once small setbacks would have thrown you into stress, now you find yourself breathing through challenges with clarity and calm. This inner peace comes from alignment. When your frequency rises, you realize that everything is energy, and therefore, everything is temporary and transformable. Problems no longer feel like the end of the world. They feel like passing waves in a larger ocean. This doesn't mean your life becomes perfect or free of challenges, but your perspective changes. You trust the timing of the universe, you see lessons in difficulties, and you respond rather than react. This kind of peace is magnetic. Others around you may even comment that you seem different, more grounded, more radiant. They may wonder how you remain calm when everything else is in chaos. That calmness is not denial. It is mastery. It is the signature of a soul whose frequency is rising, because true power is not found in controlling the outer world, but in mastering the inner one. As your frequency rises, you notice that fear begins to lose its power over you. Situations that once paralyzed you with doubt or anxiety now feel like opportunities to grow. This doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means fear no longer controls your choices. Instead of shrinking back, you lean forward with courage, trusting that the universe is supporting you. Rising frequency brings with it an expanded sense of safety, as though you are being held by something greater than yourself. You begin to see fear for what it really is, an illusion created by the mind to protect you, not a reality that defines you. The more you operate from love and trust, the less grip fear has. You may even notice that your heart races not with dread, but with excitement when you face new opportunities. Courage becomes your natural state, and as a result, you step into experiences you once thought were impossible. This courage doesn't feel forced. It flows, because at a higher frequency, you know that life itself is on your side. The universe responds to your bravery by expanding your path, opening doors, and confirming that you are aligned. Fear dissolves not because the world changes, but because your vibration rises above it. And in that higher frequency, courage becomes your new foundation. Another clear sign of a rising vibration is your shift in relationship with material possessions. While you still appreciate abundance, comfort, and beauty, you no longer cling to things as if they define your worth. Instead, you begin to value experiences, relationships, and growth over status symbols or accumulation. This doesn't mean you abandon wealth. It means your perspective changes. You start to see money as energy, as a tool for creation and contribution, rather than as the source of happiness itself. As your frequency rises, you feel less need to prove yourself through what you own and more desire to express yourself through who you are. Minimalism often becomes appealing. You find joy in simplicity, in clarity, in having less clutter, both physically and mentally. This detachment from material obsession doesn't make you poorer. In fact, it often makes you more magnetic to abundance, because you are no longer chasing it from desperation. You trust that what you need will flow to you, and it does. This freedom liberates you from the endless cycle of wanting and never feeling satisfied. True richness comes from alignment, joy, love, and creativity, all of which expand when your vibration rises. Material things then take their rightful place, not as your identity, but as tools to serve your higher journey. One of the most visible signs of a rising frequency is that other people begin to notice something different about you, even if they can't explain it. They may say you glow, or that your energy feels calming, inspiring, or uplifting. This is your aura expanding, becoming more radiant as your vibration rises. When you carry higher frequencies of love, joy, and peace, your energy field naturally becomes magnetic. People are drawn to you not because of how you look or what you say, but because of how they feel in your presence. Strangers may smile at you, opportunities may flow more easily, and even animals or children may gravitate toward you. This is not magic, it is resonance. At higher frequencies, your energy harmonizes with others, offering them a taste of elevation just by being around you. This magnetic aura is not about manipulation or control, it's about authenticity. When you rise, you shine without trying, and your very existence becomes an invitation for others to rise too. The more authentic and heart-centered you are, the stronger your aura becomes. This magnetic quality is why many people on spiritual journeys naturally step into roles of guidance, leadership, or inspiration. Your energy becomes your message, and people cannot help but feel it. When your frequency rises, you begin to notice that your life unfolds with a sense of divine timing. Things seem to line up effortlessly. You meet the right people at the right time, opportunities appear exactly when you are ready, and obstacles seem to dissolve in ways that once would have felt impossible. This is not coincidence. It is alignment with synchronic destiny. At higher frequencies, you are no longer fighting against the current of life but flowing with it. Instead of forcing outcomes, you trust, and in that trust, the universe organizes events around your energy. The delays you once hated now make sense, because you realize the timing was protecting or preparing you. The more your vibration rises, the more you witness miracles. Not necessarily dramatic ones, but small, undeniable signs that your life is being guided. You begin to see your path as a collaboration between you and the universe. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to say, "What is this teaching me? Where is this leading me?" That subtle shift places you in resonance with your destiny. And when you are aligned with destiny, life becomes not a struggle to survive, but a dance of synchronicities, flowing with beauty and meaning. Perhaps the most transformative sign of a rising frequency is your deepening spiritual connection. This doesn't have to mean religion, though for some it does, but rather a direct, personal relationship with the source of life itself. You may call it God, the universe, spirit, higher self, or simply love. As your vibration rises, this connection becomes more intimate and undeniable. You begin to sense guidance in quiet moments, feel presence in silence, and receive insights that bring clarity and peace. Prayer, meditation, or even simple stillness feels different. No longer like rituals, but like conversations with the infinite. You start to realize that you are not separate from the divine, you are an expression of it. This realization fills you with humility, awe, and joy. The more you lean into this connection, the more your frequency expands, because love is the highest vibration of all. Spiritual connection brings you strength in times of doubt, comfort in times of loss, and inspiration in times of uncertainty. It is the foundation that grounds your rising frequency and ensures you do not lose yourself in the chaos of the world. This connection is the ultimate reminder that you are not walking alone. You are co-creating with a force greater than yourself. As your frequency rises, you may feel yourself naturally releasing old versions of who you thought you were. The labels, roles, and identities you once clung to no longer define you. Maybe you identified yourself through your job, your status, your pain, or your achievements. But now, those identities feel like costumes that no longer fit. This can feel unsettling at first. You may even feel lost, as if you no longer know who you are. But this is not a loss, it is liberation. You are shedding layers that were never the real you, only masks that helped you navigate lower vibrations. When your frequency rises, you step closer to your authentic self, the version of you that existed before conditioning, fear, or societal expectations shaped you. This authenticity is light, fluid, and free. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone anymore, because your worth is no longer tied to external validation. Instead, your value radiates from within, from simply being aligned with truth. The more identities you release, the more space you create for your soul to shine. It's like uncluttering a house. You remove what doesn't belong so that light can fill every room. And in this spaciousness, you discover that your true identity is not something you wear. It is something you embody. Another profound sign of a rising frequency is the expansion of compassion. You begin to see people not as enemies, competitors, or strangers, but as fellow souls on their own journeys. Instead of judging their struggles, you feel empathy. Instead of holding on to anger, you feel forgiveness. Compassion arises not because you condone harmful actions, but because you understand that everyone acts from the level of awareness they currently hold. When your vibration rises, you see through the lens of love, and this changes everything. Small acts of kindness flow naturally. You smile more, you listen more deeply, you offer support without expecting anything in return. Compassion doesn't make you weak. It makes you powerful, because it keeps your frequency anchored in love, no matter how others behave. This compassion also expands beyond humans to animals, nature, and the planet itself. You become more conscious of how your choices affect the world, and you feel a deeper responsibility to live in harmony. The truth is, compassion is a reflection of self-healing. The more you heal, the more you realize that hurting others only hurts yourself, while loving others uplifts you too. At this level, your very presence becomes healing, because people can feel the depth of love you carry, even without words. When your frequency rises, you stop trying to control every detail of life. You realize that clinging, forcing, and overthinking only create resistance. Instead, you begin to trust the flow. This doesn't mean you become passive. It means you align your actions with intuition and allow the universe to meet you halfway. Surrender becomes a natural state, not of weakness, but of wisdom. You understand that the river of life knows where it's going, and your job is to navigate, not to fight against the current. This surrender is deeply freeing. Worry fades because you trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and what isn't meant for you will naturally fall away. At higher frequencies, you experience a calm confidence that everything unfolds in perfect timing. Miracles arrive when you least expect them. Opportunities come when you are ready, not when you demand them. Even challenges feel purposeful, because you know they are shaping you into who you are becoming. This detachment from control allows life to surprise you with beauty, synchronicity, and abundance beyond what you could have planned. In surrender, you become unstoppable, not because you control everything, but because you flow with everything. And in that flow, life becomes effortless. One of the most beautiful signs of a rising frequency is the deep sense of oneness that begins to fill your heart. You start to feel connected not only to people close to you, but to humanity as a whole. You sense the interconnectedness of all life. The idea that when one rises, we all rise. This awareness shifts the way you live. Selfishness begins to dissolve, replaced with a desire to contribute to collective well-being. You understand that the energy you carry ripples outward, affecting the world around you. At this level, separation feels like an illusion. The boundaries between you and others blur, and you realize we are all expressions of the same source energy. This sense of oneness brings profound peace. Conflicts lose their power because you see beyond differences. Prejudices dissolve because you recognize the same spark of divinity in every soul. Even in moments of disagreement, love remains the foundation. Oneness doesn't erase individuality. It celebrates diversity as different notes of the same universal song. When your frequency rises into this level, you feel a sacred responsibility to live consciously, to honor life in all its forms, and to leave behind a vibration of love that will echo far beyond your lifetime. The ultimate sign of a rising frequency is the birth of unshakable joy. This is not the fleeting happiness that depends on circumstances, but a deep inner radiance that remains even when life isn't perfect. It is the kind of joy that comes from alignment with your true self and connection with the universe. You wake up with gratitude, you move through the day with lightness, and you end the night with peace. This joy doesn't mean you never face challenges. It means challenges no longer steal your essence. You carry light wherever you go, and this light becomes contagious. People feel uplifted just by being near you, because your joy is not about performance. It is authentic. Radiance at this level cannot be faked. It shines through your eyes, your smile, your words, and your silence. It is the natural byproduct of living in love, purpose, and alignment. When you reach this state, you no longer chase life, you attract it. Opportunities, relationships, and abundance flow toward you because your frequency matches the vibration of abundance itself. And perhaps the most beautiful truth is this: the more joy you embody, the more you raise the vibration of the world. Your personal rise becomes a collective rise. That is the true power of frequency.